Welcome all to City Tech and to this wonderful new building that we have here, the academic complex. This is my first time in this room, maybe the first time for many of you here. And this, I think, I was telling someone earlier that I feel like I'm in the future compared to where we held this symposium. This is a really cool space. So my name is Jason Ellis. I'm from the English department here at City Tech. And I'd like to welcome you all to the third annual City Tech Science Fiction Symposium. We inaugurated this annual symposium on SF and interdisciplinarity 3 years ago, after City Tech received an anonymous donation of SF magazines and books that stretch across 600 feet of shelf space. Since then, the collection has grown to include a substantial Philip K. Dick collection of fiction and scholarship, thanks to a donation from Aaron Barlow. We've used the collection with students taking City Tech's SF class, and we hope to make the collection more widely available in the years ahead. This symposium is one way to get the word out about City Tech's science fiction collection. We chose this year's symposium's theme because Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is not so much a long shadow cast over the 200 years following its original publication, but instead it's a light illuminating the way forward. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein provides an enduring model for how interdisciplinarity within STEM fields yield imaginative possibilities, such as those employed in making the creature, anatomy, biology, chemistry, physics, but perhaps more importantly, how the interdisciplinary application of the humanities to STEM projects explore how ethical, philosophical, and societal implications are of those works. I was thinking of these things while reading the stories in the November-December 2018 issue of Analog Science Fiction and Fact, which you guys hopefully picked up a copy of. And I'd like to thank Trevor Cashy and Associate Editor Emily Hockaday, who's with us right now, for donating these issues for us. I mean, this is a really nice gift that we can then share with all of you here today. Each story in that issue is brimming over with science and technology, including things like biological immortality, artificial intelligences, robots, including those who aspire to be great chefs, drones, energy weapons, new forms of propulsion and transport, orbital mechanics, alien life forms, post-human existence, consciousness transference, brain implants, interstellar war, and more besides. However, each story is not a simple report of what these science and technologies are. Each story explores what effect these things have on individuals and society. While they imaginatively extrapolate new science and technology, they equally extrapolate what effect these things will have on us and how we might use these things for good or ill. To this end, the humanities appear alongside the STEM topics, including psychology, sociology, anthropology, ethics, history, and philosophy. The many stories contained in this single issue of this almost 90-year-old magazine follow the model set out in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, extrapolate new scientific and technical possibilities, and explore the effect of those new possibilities on us, and perhaps more importantly, interrogate what responsibilities we have to ourselves and others when we wield new science and technology. It is in this spirit that we hold this symposium today. Before we begin, I would like to express our gratitude to a number of folks who have played an important role in making today's symposium possible. Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences, Justin Vazquez-Poritz, for immediately grokking our college's need for a science fiction collection and providing his support for it and these symposia. Vice President for Enrollment, Management and Student Affairs, Michelle Hodge, and Special Assistant to President Stephen Soifer for getting the word out. Faculty Commons Director Julia Jordan for the essential logistical support and printing out all these materials and name tags and stuff for us. Faculty Commons Graphic Design Intern Julie Bradford, who designed our poster for the event. Image Technology and Reproduction Supervisor Luba Stepanek and Ms. Clara for printing symposium posters and bookmarks. Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences Secretary Ida Williams for orchestrating reservations and catering. So if you happen to stop by, say thanks for like our catering back and for making a lot of the logistical stuff possible. Buildings and Grounds Superintendent James Vazquez for arranging the room to meet our needs. Assistant Vice President and Chief Information Officer Rita Uden, and Computer Information Services providing our guest Wi-Fi access. And for those folks that aren't from City Tech, if you have trouble getting on our Wi-Fi, let me know and I'll help you with that. For our collection, we thank our gracious anonymous donor whose methodical acquisition skills created our collection. Our former colleague Alan Lovegreen, who before returning to California helped make our acquisition of that collection possible. And we thank the City Tech administration and the City Tech Foundation for their vision and support to bring the collection here. We thank Chief Librarian and Library Department Chair Morris Snail, College Archivist Keith Mikowski, and Librarian Morris Hunian for integrating the collection into their holdings and working to make it accessible to students and faculty. We also welcome the library's new collections management librarian, Lynette Clyde, who has shown great enthusiasm for the SF collection and how we can make it available going forward. Special thanks go to Nicole Leist, Manager of Education Programs at the Morgan Library and Museum, for donating tickets to their exhibit, It's Alive, Frankenstein at 200, which runs through January 27th of next year. We'll be giving out tickets for that as well as part of the raffle today. And I would like to personally thank my colleagues who helped with this year's symposium, Belli, Leigh Gold, Lucas Kwong, Lavelle Porter, and Robert Lestón, and Robert can't join us today because of jury duty. So I'll be reading his paper now. Last but certainly not least, I would like to thank you all for joining us today to learn and talk about science fiction and interdisciplinarity. Now I'd like to introduce the Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences, Justin Vazquez-Poritz, who would like to say a few words.
Very much. Good morning, everyone. I'd better keep it to a few words, since after that we have the prize going. So welcome once again to this year's Science Fiction Symposium. I find this year's theme of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein to be particularly interesting due to the interplay between science fiction and science fact. First, in terms of Shelley's personal life, her mother had died 11 years after her birth, and her graveside became a place of solace for Shelley. And she lost her first child, and then dreamed of bestowing animation upon lifeless matter to bring her baby back to life. In fact, that was one of 3 children that she ended up losing. But more than personal influence, she was also influenced by the biological experience of the time. Luigi Galvani had recently found that electrical charge could make a dead frog's legs twitch. And there were also experiments on spontaneous generation by Erasmus Darwin, who was the grandfather of Charles Darwin. And so Mary Shelley cited both experiments as being of profound influence to her. But what's most interesting to me is that this interplay goes in both directions. In 1932, an 8-year-old Earl Bacon saw the first Frankenstein movie, and this sparked his interest in combining electricity with medicine, and he later developed the first portable and wearable cardiac pacemaker. In fact, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, uses electricity to bring the recently deceased back to life. These days we have organ transplants, growing organs in the lab by taking patients' own cells and growing them on a biodegradable scaffold. We're currently trying to use 3D printing to grow hearts, livers, and kidneys. We have robotic exoskeletons helping paraplegics regain control over their legs through prosthetics that directly read the brain commands through electrodes placed in the skull. All of this makes me wonder what Dr. Victor Frankenstein would make of all of this and whether he believed all of it. So I'd like to end by thanking all of the members of the organization committee for their hard work in making the symposium possible. Jason Ellis, Jill Belli, Leigh Gold, Lucas Kwong, Robert Lestón, and Lavelle Porter. Thank you.